Hello everybody and welcome to Guys on Gaffr. My name is Joel.
I'm Abhishek.
And we are trying out a new format for our content and hopefully it will work for this season. So what we're going to do is we're still going to be doing our longer videos every few weeks, but they will be every few weeks. We're going to attempt to do this every game week. We're going to do just a game week reactions video. So this is our game week 1 reactions video where we talk about our scores, our brief game week 2 plans and the things that stood out to us in the week. So each of us will bring 1 or 2 points. We'll try and keep it nice and snappy. So the idea is we bring out more consistent content, nice short snappy content that really keeps to the kind of key and important events of the weekend. We won't be able to cover everything, so if there's stuff we don't talk about, then we can't cover everything in such a short space of time. We're aiming for half an hour. Let's get cracking.
Yeah.
Abhishek, take us through how you did in Game Week 1.
Yeah, I think scored 65 points. Pretty happy with it. My team, I played a 3-4-3 formation team with my Plymouth double up Hazard and Mumba scoring 16 points. Expected a bit more from Hazard, but Plymouth did not conceded a goal in the second half against Huddersfield. But happy with the goal scored by Mumba. What a goal! Blistering pace. Disappointing that Huddersfield players nobody didn't do anything to him and just allowed him to run the whole pitch and scored the goal. just so that's pretty weird from Huddersfield, and I think Warnock will not be happy with that. My two other defenders are Rankin Costello and Manning. They provided me a total of 7 points. Disappointing to get see Manning received a yellow card. As first half in the first, I mean, really sucks to say that after this. But yeah, we move on. In the midfield, I played a four-man midfield. So my punt, Progjayer, played it's nice little 5 points from him. Although
Was
Preston
that
didn't look that.
bonus?
Yep,
Cool.
2 points, bonus 3 points. The only shot on target apart from the Wilkin goal was his.
Okay.
Yeah, in terms of bonus, he was bound to happen, and really good class signing from Preston. This guy, Sinister didn't do anything today. Really disappointing with that. Um, come on, Chella, why? Such. Uh, Stella got me 7 points. I'm not talking about that Armstrong goal. It was Stella's goal. It's not Armstrong goal. I'm
It
sure of
did
it.
touch him. It did touch him annoyingly.
And Dewsbury Hall got me a nice 15 pointer, the highlight of Sunday so far for my team. Now moving on to my three forwards, Spiro only got me 2 bonus points, and after the showing that he did, after the showing that Swans against he did. I am going to run with it because a lot of other players, Armstrong captainers, got only 6 points. So I'm just behind by 2 points. That is 4 points in terms. So I'm happy with it. Nisbet missed a lot of chances, clear cut chances. He got 1-1 with the goalkeeper and hit it straight to the goalkeeper. Really bad. So and I don't know about Bradshaw, whether he is injured or not, but Nesbitt seems to get the nod ahead. He's the number one striker, and I'm thinking if Millwall play 4-2-3-1 formation, if they play 4-4-2, then probably him and Bradshaw will get the nod. And Sims didn't do anything much either today with 2 points. So overall, 65 points. The only leftover points on my bench are Davies points, which I'm not too disappointing with that because I was never going to start this Davies in the first place. So apart from that, I have pretty much nailed my bench points with Ingram 0 points. Began did not start. Luo got 3 points. So yeah, 65 points. The overall ranks is I think updated till yesterday, so it's 1.1k. Today's points haven't been updated, so it will be inside 100k, inside 1000k, 1000k, inside
1K,
1k.
yeah.
Yeah, inside
Yeah.
1k by tomorrow morning, I guess. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's me.
Cool. On to my team. 70 points, just a little bit better. Not much to say about the defence. They all got half a clean sheet. Dieng,
Yeah.
Rankin, Costello, Key, and Manning. Midfield 3 of Sinistera, Ward-Prowse, Vice-Captain Dewsbury Hall and Roberts. I was really encouraged. I only saw the second half of the Sunderland game today, but I was encouraged by what I saw from Roberts. He was looking particularly good from the dribbling standpoint, which is probably why he got some bonus, and he also created a few chances in the first half, I believe.
Yep.
Dewsbury Hall was fantastic towards the end of that game as well, so that brace was very welcome. And the Ward-Prowse assist was also very welcome late in the day, having tried to find an extra 0.5 to get him over Teller, so it was needed, I have to say. In the front three, yeah, Pro disappointing he didn't get anything, but we'll take the 2 bonus points. All things considered, it's only 2 points behind Armstrong now, so that's okay. Nisbet disappointing, looked like he had his chances. I hope he will stay in the team, but you never know. When there's a 3-game week with the midweek fixtures, he could be a bit of a risk with Bradshaw there if they're only playing one at the top. But I'm really pleased with the Yates pick. Jerry Yates' 9-pointer is really, really nice, considering I've kind of rated him as a pick kind of all pre-season, and I wanted to pick him, and he's a bit of a differential, so that was a nice 9-pointer. Also benched Davis. Not so fussed about that. I was always going to bench him in this fixture. Obviously, I'll be starting him most weeks, though. It's just a bit annoying that Castagna owners get him off the bench. I've actually checked my overall rank. It has just updated a few minutes ago, and I'm down to 1.1k rather than 713 on there. And I think it's all the bench points, unfortunately. But I'm actually feeling quite optimistic. I think some things didn't go my way with like Mumba and Loser, but I'm actually feeling quite optimistic about this season, and I'm feeling quite good, even though 70 is, I'd say, an average start to the season.
Yeah.
So that's me. And David, even though he can't join us in person or on the call today, he has sent in some video footage of him. So here he is with his Game Week 1 score.
Hi guys, nice to see you again, or this being the video. Hope you had a good preseason and that you've had some good episodes. I just came back from my trip to Canada, which was amazing. We had such a good time with my family, and I will love to talk about it more when I get back on the pod this week. So we are doing some a bit about Game Week 1, so I'll just talk about this a bit. So I can talk about how many points I have first. I've had a good week, and as we speak, the Leicester game is finishing. So I have, I would say, around 75 points now, with Dewsbury Hall scoring 2 goals just now, which is amazing. My highlights from this week were Mumba with 12 points and Lusa with 15, which was great. And I also had Pro captain with like 8 points, which was okay, and Armstrong 9-point VC captain, so I'll take that. So at the moment I'm ranked 236, but I will also say that as Abhishek pointed out in the chat, I have row 10-pointer on the bench, so you know me. So this week I have just Sinistera to go in the game, and also I haven't seen, but I hope they don't sub on Castagna, because if he doesn't, I will get Semedo off the bench, which was like calculated. I can say now, but I hope he does something off the bench if he does that. So yeah, that was my game week so far, and I'm very happy with it. So let's roll on to game week 2.
Alright, so the plan now is, and David and I have got 2 points to talk about, and Abhishek has got 1 point, one slightly longer point. So what we're going to do is we're going to do mine and David's first points, then Abhishek's point, and then mine and David's second point. So we're going to cut straight back to David now for the first thing that he would like to mention that stood out to him from Game Week 1.
And then there's 2 things that I have seen in this week, and the first one was one of the players I got convinced by Lewis to get late in the evening in the chat, which was Edozie from Southampton, which I didn't know much about, but I saw like a video clip of him dribbling some people and like being almost like Saint-Maximin and I haven't watched any games this week or highlights, but watching the chat when Southampton plays, he sounded like he was doing very well and dribbling and getting into good positions, just lacking the end product this time. But I'm very happy to own him, and I will keep him. So yeah, very happy with that pick, and I hope he does well. Seems like he's going to have a good season, judging by just one game, of course. But I'm very excited to see what he can do.
Cool, thank you, David. So yeah, I even though he didn't see the match, having seen the match, I do agree with what he said. Edozie looked very, very lively on the left wing, played very, very well, and is one to keep an eye on. So yeah, we'll go on to my first point now. Then, so I've left my team on the screen, even though I should change it. But you'll see that I have Rankin Costello in my team, but kind of middle of Friday, I had Mumba in my team as well instead of Key. And I decided I wanted to upgrade Teller to Ward Prowse, so I needed to find 0.5 somewhere. So it was going to be one of Rankin Costello and Mumba out for Key. And obviously I picked the wrong one, so I'm 8 points down on that one so far. Annoying. My justification at the time was that I looked back at some of Mumba's heat maps from the end of last season and some of his stats, and I just thought Plymouth, newly promoted team, he probably won't be able to keep it up this season. But one of the mistakes I made was not considering the fact that they were going to play 4-3-3, because I was looking at him in a 3-5-2 system rather than him being in the front three, so a lot further forward. So the question is, have I got it wrong? Have I not got it wrong? We'll see. One of the things that I'm hoping, though, is in the next two, Mumba has got two tougher fixtures. So Watford away and Southampton. Can't remember if that one was home or away, but two tougher games. Whereas Rankin Costello's got Rotherham away and Hull at home, so two easier fixtures. So we'll frame kind of the stats and the stuff I'm going to go through now with that. And bear that in mind, because obviously it's a tougher fixture for Rankin Costello this week. And in this tougher fixture, his heat maps show him there's a big kind of red splodge kind of about 10 yards into his own half, whereas Mumba's big splodge is about 10 minutes into the opposition half. And Rankin Costello really didn't get forward that much in terms of expected goals, 0.09. So you had one blocked shot basically, and didn't offer much in terms of creating chances. So in terms of bonus, no key passes, no successful dribbles, and a couple of defensive actions, but that's it. So not really great for bonus, but it was a tougher game for him. And after Blackburn scored the 2 goals, obviously they were going to sit back a bit deeper. As for Mumba, he had 0.77 expected goals, probably mostly coming from that chance though, to be fair. He only had one other shot in the game, which was off target. But watching the highlights, I did think he looked absolutely electric, to be honest. There were times where he looked so threatening. Yeah. He was causing the Huddersfield right back so many problems. And his goal was really well taken, even though the defence parted like the Red Sea. And it was, really not great defending. It was well taken, and I thought he looked absolutely fantastic. He had 2 key passes, 2 successful dribbles, so a good performance from a bonus standpoint as well from him. And if we're just basing it off of this game alone, it looks like he's the better option, and I got it wrong. I just hope that Rankin Costello will show up in the next 2, and Mumba will have a couple of blanks in those tougher fixtures. I think in terms of where to go, if you're on Rankin Costello, I think it's assess the next 2 and see how he looks and if he has an improvement. If not, he's one to move on, be it to Mumba if he looks good still, or up to Cody Dramo if he's back fit, or someone else.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it for my first point. Abhishek, do you want to do your big point?
Yeah, the main thing is that after all the matches that we have seen, apart from all those things that David and you discussed, the one thing that really catch my eye is the forward position, and all the budget forwards doing well, the likes of Broadhead, Whitaker, getting Ugbo, Leonard, all from Blackburn, but I don't think Leonard will play. Keane, Dillard, all these 6 million forwards, they are doing well, and they are key integral of the squads. It seems like whether how the teams attack, they are very much central to it. So I wouldn't mind. I at the start of the season I was thinking that whether I should go with two budget forwards up top and have one premium forward like Akpom or Piro or Vardy or Armstrong, one premium forward and supported by two budget forwards. But in terms of uh, maybe you can say my budget points seems to be from 6 million to 7.5 million. So in that category a lot of forwards come to party, especially the likes, depending on the fixtures as well, but really like the look of Broadway, Whitaker, and maybe Akpom, one of Akpom and Piro to start the forward, to start set my forward three and invest bunch of the money in the midfield, because we still don't know what will happen with JWP. We still don't know what will happen with another. We still want to own VDD because he looked really good in for Leicester. We still want to own the Stoke midfielders. I think uh, Vidigal looked really good for Stoke. So these type of midfield players cost what, about upwards of 7 million, 7 million, 7.5 to 8 million, I think. I'm not sure about the Vidigal price.
Not sure.
Let me
No,
check.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's 6.5, so that's nice.
Cheap.
But the likes of, yeah, but likes of Lauza is 7 million, Dewsbury Hall is 7.5 million. So Mavijidi is 9 million. Uh, if I mean, if Watford does look like the Watford of old, I mean, Ismail said it very well that this 11 was there last season. So it's just a change of mentality. So he started firing shots to the previous managers as well. So if Watford look like playing the Watford that we expected them to be, then I think the likes of Bio can be another option in 7.5 million forward. So it's really interesting to see where we go, because I am seeing much preference is given to the likes of Akpom and Piro, owning both the likes of Akpom and Piro. That may not be a right call if certain JWP stays, and if you want to own Mavidity and the other Tella stays, likes of Tella stays, JWP stays, Alcaraz stays, it doesn't go. You preferably want to own those players if you want, especially because with the likes, if you don't want to go Armstrong as well, and if Che Adams stays, I really basically what I'm trying to say is if the Southampton lads stay, you need money to own them, so you basically need your budget forwards to be
Could be
a.
a good way. Yeah.
And plus, what I'm seeing this season is that all the sides are really much well balanced in terms of squad quality. So there are a lot of options, unlike last previous seasons. There are a lot of options in forward options, in midfield options, and with the AFL guys and the Gaffr guys pricing them accordingly, pricing really lot of budget forwards, it's really fell into our lap. So I don't really. It will be interesting to see whether this form continues and on the how way we're gonna go. Because I really don't mind setting up, making a Gaffer team with three forwards, with two budget forwards and one premium forward. I'd invest all my money in defenders and uh, midfielders, because defenders cost a lot of money. If I want to own a defense, say the likes of Drama, Ranking Castello, then I need money. So if I can set my three forwards up, then I don't need. I I don't need to think about it throughout the season. So just need to think about what I'm going to do in the midfield and the defensive options. So I'm really it's really in really happy for the forwards. In terms of forwards, I'm really happy because they're budget priced. They're scoring goals. They're really integral part to their teams. So it's not like they will perform one week and not perform another week. They are the only guys that will score the goals for them. I mean, Hardy, all the front three scored for Plymouth. Broadhead scored and assisted. George Hurst scored, I think.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Ipswich's two budget forwards scored. Plymouth, same thing. Bio for Watford as well. So Hull, Gillard finally starting to find his scoring boots. So Will Keane also for Preston. So it's really important to take a note of it, because why would you spend so much money for the likes of to own both? I'm not saying don't own Akpom or don't own Armstrong. I'm saying we don't if we don't own both of them, just one, because Akpom will be transferred in game week 2. That he will be the most transferred in guy.
Do you reckon?
Apart, yeah, because he is fit. He made it to the bench,
Could do.
and
Yeah.
we don't need his presence, because they looked nothing in the upfront. All those flair players that are there, they need an Akpom kind of guy to score the goals. Otherwise, they're gonna struggle. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I find really interesting from this game week one. That there are a lot of budget forwards scoring this season, and that start of the season and becoming really integral part to their success for their sides.
Yeah, we'll have to see if it carries on. They've all started very well, but it's only game week 1. You never know; they might go a bit cold. So, but yeah, if they are going to emerge as consistent options, then that will be really interesting and really helpful for a lot of our budgets.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, on to my second point. No, David's second point. On to David's second point. Take it away, David.
Yeah, and the second point, which I've seen this week, is there's been lots of goals, very many goals, and less clean sheets, which we are kind of used to in the championship anyway, but especially this week it was lots of goals, and if one game week is something to judge by, it doesn't look like we will get a season with lots of clean sheets. And I've seen people talk about boosts before the season, but also now that the Park the Bus boost doesn't look as good as it maybe did before the season. So yeah, I'm at least not looking to play that if this is going to be the case, but you can always talk about defenders getting attacking returns, and we have seen that this week, of course. But that will mean to have like some good returns from Manning or Castagne if he's going, so Ricardo that people have, and people have high hopes for Key and Ashby, so there's many opportunities, but it doesn't look likely that the points will come from clean sheets in that boost. So, but we will see. So yeah, those are my 2 points that I've seen from very limited exposure to games because I've been on vacation. But I'm looking forward to getting into more of the highlights and stats for the game weeks and the season going forward. So yeah, that was my 2 points.
All right, thanks, David. Yeah, lots of goals, not many clean sheets. Will that continue, or is it just a case of teams kind of not really, having figured out how to defend properly yet? And maybe things will get better, but I don't know. Maybe it will be a sign of things to come. Lots of good attacks in the league this year. Right, my second point, which was Leicester Coventry. I just wanted to talk about that game really from both teams' perspectives, because I saw the vast majority of it. I think I missed the first 25 minutes, but I saw the rest of it. And it's a really interesting game, actually. Really kind of topsy-turvy game. Like Coventry, I think first half Coventry just counter-attacked really well and looked very, very dangerous. Even though Leicester had kind of more of the ball, they weren't actually that threatening, and Leicester were always kind of Coventry was very, very dangerous. But then in the second half, really, again, Coventry came out of the box really quick, got the opening goal through McFadzean from a fantastic Hamer cross. The game really changed as soon as Coventry took off Gustavo Hamer and Sims and one other person. Hamer was running the show really, but he has, just come back from an injury. It's possible his minutes are being managed. But since then, Leicester were relentless. Coventry were a bit open as well. They played a bit more open than I expected them to, given they're 1-0 up. Juice Hall ran the show. Ian Nacho made a difference. I mean, Jamie Vardy was next to anonymous the whole game. I don't think he had any chances really, and he was hardly involved. So Ian Nacho coming on helped there, and Dennis Pratt obviously set up the Juice Hall header. So it's a game that was a bit interesting for Leicester. They kind of got away with it a bit because they were very unconvincing for a lot of the game. But just in those last 15 minutes, they were pushing and broke through on 2 occasions. 2 fantastic Dewsbury Hall goals. Didn't know he could head the ball like that, Kieran Dewsbury Hall, for the first goal, and the second goal was a fantastic finish. Ellis Sims. Now, I do think Everton fans overrate Ellis Sims generally, and he is a very good level Championship striker, but he's certainly not a Premier League striker. And he was a bit frustrating to watch today. He's a good finisher, but he did not hold the ball up well today. He did not look confident trying to take on a man. He gave the ball away far too many times. He was dispossessed far too easily on too many occasions. He's going to have to be a bit better than that. I mean, Victor Gyökeres was fantastic at getting the Coventry team up the pitch. He was instrumental to a lot of their counter-attacking goals. And a lot of the counter-attacking threat that they possessed today was not so much because of Sims, but because of the players around him who were very, very impressive, like Gordon and Eccles and such. So I think Sims has got to work on his all-round game quite a bit. He can finish and he will score goals for this Coventry team, and he will be a successful signing, I think. But I think there's a lot to improve on there from his standpoint.
Yeah, I think what I can say is that whatever teams he has played post Coventry, pre Coventry or post Coventry, whatever, I may have butchered up the word, but they didn't do the counter-attacking goals that Coventry scores. Sims hasn't played in that system for quite a while, so I think he needs to up his game in a similar way so that he can score those goals. Because as you said, because every other players are accustomed to it. The only guy that was missing there is Victor. If Victor was there, Leicester would have conceded more goals because they were creating chances for him, especially in the counters. So if Victor was there, should have had what, one goal at least to what McFadden had scored. And uh, another thing is that I want to ask is that indeed he started at number 10.
Yeah, he did
What's
right.
with that?
Yeah, he did all right. I don't think there's anything wrong with that selection, really. I mean, did he? I mean, he wasn't brilliant, but I wouldn't say there's much to complain about.
I mean,
It's just the whole team.
I mean,
did well.
when Pratt came on, I think that literally changed Leicester complexion. I mean,
Yeah,
because Hamer goes off and Pratt comes on, it's simultaneously. Both these things really uh, helped
did change
Leicester
the
to win
game.
and Coventry to so really interesting to see whether NDD plays more games in that because he's
Yeah, we'll see.
after all he's a central midfielder. I can't expect him to play that how
Yeah,
we want
indeed.
James Madison room. So yeah,
Just to round it off, Dewsbury Hall looks vastly underpriced at 7.5 million. Just to give a couple of other stats: 3 key passes, 3 shots on target, and then he had 5 other shots, 2 off target, 3 blocked. So he at 7.5 is an absolute steal for him at playing number 10 and filling Madison's shoes. So I think if you've not got him, probably get on him very quickly. Coventry will be kicking themselves not getting something out of this game. They certainly had multiple chances. They were a bit wasteful in front of goal at times. So they will be kicking themselves if they didn't get something out of this game. Okay, and now just some early thoughts on Game Week 2. Any transfers, captaincy? Obviously a lot will
no,
change in midweek. Abhishek.
yeah. As of now, the same formation continues 3-4-3, but my 2 Plymouth guys are on the bench, starting with Ingram, who faces Sheffield Wednesday at home, and Davies, who faces Stoke City at home. Might change, might start with Mumba, but who knows? I'm not too much worried with Mumba as I'm worried with Manning and Ranking Costello, but Ranking Costello faced Rotherham, so he's probably stays. Might bench Manning because Norwich look really good on the first game of the season. The 4 usual 4 midfielders stays Frogayers, Sinister, Chella, and Dewsbury Hall. The 3 up top is Nesbet, Pero, Sims. Okay, captaincy wise, I have put captaincy on Dewsbury Hall because Tella faces Norwich at home, and Peterborough faces West Brom away. So Dewsbury Hall faces Huddersfield away. So that's a plump fixture for Leicester, who I'm going to think he's gonna Leicester going to score goals, a lot of goals, but who knows? Like I'm hopeful. Put my vice on Nisbet so far because they faces Bristol at home. Uh, Always back a guy who's playing at home for the first game of the season. Not in terms of match week one, but their first home game, so they will be pumped up for it. The Millwall fans at the Den. So yeah, in terms of transfers, I'm not doing anything, just rolling because it's assessment time. Not with the transfer window still open, it's assessment time. So yeah, transfer rolled. Captain said Dewsbury Hall. Hopefully, have a good start again.
Cool. And here's my team. Also going to roll for more information, as we all probably should in game week 2. And yeah, happy enough with how the team looks. I'm currently starting Hladek, however you say his name, the Ipswich goalkeeper over Dieng. And I've also got the captaincy on Dewsbury Hall purely because of the fixture, like you say, plum fixture. Some of the other fixtures are a little bit tougher from an attacking standpoint. So yeah, that's me. Currently benching Key for Leif Davis. That's the only change really. So yeah, hopefully, like you say, the start, it'll be a positive game week. We'll come out with some good information. Vice captaincies on James Ward-Prowse currently.
Yeah.
And now over to David for his game week 2 plans.
And looking forward to next game week. Yeah, my plan looks pretty straightforward because I have a transfer that I have to do most likely already because Castagna didn't start, and it looks like it didn't start because he's probably going. So I think I'd either get him out right away or bench him because I have a strong squad, I think, because I got some tips in the chat to make my team not an FPL team but a Gaffr team, which means having a almost 15-man squad with more money in defense than in FPL, so I can just bench him for Davies or someone else. I could also roll, like if I bench him, but also while I was preparing for this, I saw that Steffi Mavdidi got an assist, and he's a player that I'm interested in because, let's be honest, it's because I've played FIFA this year and he's got lots of informs, so he just looked like a good player. But if he starts, I think he could do well in a league like this because he's already got League One experience. So yeah, he could be an option as well, but then I would have to find some money somewhere. So I'm not that interested in taking a hit the first game week, even though I'm pretty used to taking lots of hits in every fantasy game I play. So, but you know, and captaincy wise, I think a bit recency bias, of course, but it is what it is. I think I will put the captain on Lusa because he plays Plymouth. So that I think that's a good game. And VC right now is on Armstrong, the Southampton striker, in lack of more obvious options, but I will probably change it. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm looking forward to the next weekend to be on the pod again. So I'm looking forward to also playing the Super League game. So we'll talk about that later. But that's all for me. And yeah, I hope you have a good episode, and we'll talk to you later. Så, ha det bra.
Yeah, so last week we told that we're gonna have a competition between our sport hosts about how many goals scored and clean sheets happened. If there is a tie, then we'll say how many yellow cards. So far, 37 goals are scored this week. There are 2 clean sheets, and yellow cards received were 56. So, in terms of prediction from last week, Joe said 33 goals, 6 clean sheets, 40 yellow cards in case of tie breaks. So, 33 goals, 6 clean sheets. There are 37 goals, 2 clean sheets. David has said 24 goals, 6 clean sheets. I had said 32 goals, 8 clean sheets. So, clearly, Joe looks like is the winner. Clearly, Yes, David is a bit far behind in terms of goals, I may say. Because, but clean sheet wise, 32 goals. I've said 8 points. So David might get me on it because I may finish second. We may have tied a bit, but I'm giving me the second place purely because you have said less goals. At
Yeah,
least if you have touched 30 goals, then I would have inclined to it. Yeah, 6 clean sheets. Yeah, it's closer.
yeah.
But I
Cool.
have 32. He's still 33. So yeah, Joe leads with 3 points. Me with one. David is zero. So
All right, and that wraps up this episode. Do comment below what you thought of it and whether you preferred this sort of format. I know there's a lot we didn't cover because I feel like there's a lot packed into this week, a lot of interesting stuff. But
yeah,
you know, we wanted to keep it short and sweet. We haven't quite made it under half an hour, but we gave it a really good go, and for that, I think we can be proud. Keep an eye out on Twitter for Thursday Night Wars updates as well. We will update you on how GW1 went there. Wednesday is a Super League preview. It will be a longer video, and David will be back
yep,
for that. So we will see you there if you're playing that game. Failing
yep.
that, we will see you hopefully next week for another one of these Game Week 2 reactions videos. But until then, it's goodbye from me.
Namaste from me.